cubs as well. So that whale right at our... So Stellwagen is an underwater plateau, which means it is like an underwater mountain with its top cut off. Nutrients on the bottom of the ocean. It's scary by Alright, and that is a humpback whale named Clamp. So we got a great look at the underside of that whale's tail. And that is an identifying feature for all of the humpback whales. Each humpback whale has a unique pattern, and that pattern is identifiable to everyone. And then it allows us to catalog these whales, take a photo of them, keep them in a catalog, and then we can look at their life history throughout the time that we're watching them.
The flukes themselves are not, they do not perform them. So the caudal peduncle is what goes.
So humpback whales do go on 4 to 6 minute dives on average here, but they can hold their breath for up to an hour, and that's due to the myoglobin in their body. So we have hemoglobin and myoglobin. Hemoglobin transports oxygen around our body, and myoglobin stores oxygen in our muscles. Humpback whales have specially adapted myoglobin that allows them to hang on to extra oxygen, and this allows them to hold their breath for quite some time. They use their head like a shovel, bring the fish up into the water column, and then they get their tasty meal.
Oh, there it is.
See right dorsal.
Oh, whale.
It depends if you see them on the surface, you can use like saltwater fins. Yeah. But usually you draw like big plugs or big squid.
Right there.
Get over here. Brady, come here.
Alright, for a whale.
All the way out.
To the starboard of that boat there.
Alright, we last saw Cliff at our 1 o'clock, but perhaps there's a When Cliff lifts her tail out of the water, that's because she's going on a vertical dive, and she's looking to get enough momentum to go straight down to the bottom of the ocean. So lifting their tail out of the water gives them enough momentum to go all the way down. Here on Stellwagen Bay, the water depth ranges between 80 and 300 feet, and that's quite deep for humans, but for a humpback whale like Clamp, who is 40 to 50 feet in length, that's only a couple body lengths. That's a pretty tricky thing in order to capture and then be able to look to see if it's male or female. But recent DNA studies have allowed us a better sense of if these whales are male or female. We can look at their DNA and determine their sex or gender. So Clamp now at our 1 o'clock, you can just track them under the water as they are with those glowing green flippers. Sriracha, mayo, and salsa. So not every whale gets a special lineage treatment. Most of the time, if a humpback whale baby is born, we refer to it by its mom's name for the first several years of its life. After about 3 to 4 years, that tail pattern solidifies, and we can give it a name based on a mark in their tail pattern. So much like finding a shape in the clouds, we find a shape in their tail. So Clamp on the left side of his or her fluke does have 2 little marks that look like a clamp, kind of like a claw machine. So that's where they get their name from. These are scientifically recognized names, and it allows us Alright, that humpback whale now at our 11:30. And we have 2 humpback whales in this area, one at our 10 o'clock and one. So there's a whale to the right, probably about a quarter mile away.
Yeah, which one can I go to?
Oh, we do go over there. That's It looks like both of those individuals just went down on a fluking dive. So you can see that these whales are in the same area, but they are not together. And that's because these whales do form loose associations. They don't form tight-knit family groups called pods. They really only form loose relationships that are based on feeding. But because these 2 whales aren't diving in sync with each other and they're not traveling together, they are considered 2 separate whales and not in association. We've seen her throughout the years. We've seen her all summer long. She's a fantastic whale. We often see a lot of behaviors displayed by her. And if you're looking at the left side of the boat at that flat patch of water, that's called a fluke print. So much like a footprint or a paw print, when the whale goes down on a dive, it leaves behind that fluke print. And that's due to the physics of the water. The whalers used to think that that was oil coming off of the whale's back, but it's actually just the physics of the water when such a large animal descends. We do have our other humpback whale up and now at our 1 o'clock.
Do you know Calvin?
Oh, that was cool. Oh, he's like. Ah, they went to tell. Did you guys see the tail?
Yeah.
So, ma'am, where do those seagulls are coming? They're just like right there. Well, last time we were here, they would feed on you real quickly.
So generally, when the whale slaps its tail on the water like that, it could be a form of feeding called kick feeding. So humpback whales have a lot of different feeding techniques. They have that bottom side roll feeding, where they go to the bottom of the ocean and use their head like a shovel.
Oh, that is flat.
So there's a bit of a tail breach. And that's the trumpet noise.
Okay, here comes this one. Now watch when she comes to tell. Just a little baby one.
It's a giant. I think it's
I still have shuffling this one.
This looks to be a very small whale.
It's gonna get a tail.
That's further away. Just one.
And that will give you a short summary of our trip as